As you can see, I got my Christmas wallpaper on my phone. Just because today I wanted to tell you about my top 5 books that I've read in 2015, which was probably my most progressive reading year so far. Interestingly enough, 4 out of 5 books that I have in my top 5 are actually non-fiction, and that's considering that I mostly read fiction. So first I'm going to talk about the non-fiction books, and then at the end I will just talk about the one fiction book that I've really liked this year. But before that, there are several things that I wanted to say. First, I know this is wrong, like this is supposed to be here. I know. Second, I probably need a haircut. And finally, yes, I will be wearing this Christmas sweater up until Christmas in every video that I may or may not make until then. And if you've been on YouTube for a while, you might know that there are people called booktubers who basically make videos about books, about what they read and what they like. And I'm not one of those people, and I'm not gonna make videos about books in general unless there's something that I'm really excited about throughout the year. But I decided that if I'm gonna keep making videos like until next year and the year after it, I'm just gonna make these videos at the end of each year talking about my top 5 favorite books. And I always try to make things a little bit more interesting than they usually are. And in this video I decided that I'm gonna rate each and every book by a smelling scale, because everybody knows that books are one of the best smelling things in the world, right? The scale is going to be from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest point, the best obviously, and 1 being So let's just see how this goes. The first one is called The Underground Storyteller by Alex Day, as you can see here. Alex Day is a YouTuber who is just so obsessed with trains that one day he decided to visit every single London Underground station and just write a book about it, which I think is one of the most brilliant book ideas ever. And this is what came out of it. There are 270 stations and he visited every single one of them, and he combined it into a book where he also talks about London and some life stories that he had in relation to these places. And I was lucky enough to get this copy because not only it is signed, but it is also numbered, as you can see. I think it was the first 700 people who got the physical copy. It was going to be signed and numbered. So this was really interesting because it's just got so much history about London and the way the tube started and how it works, and some really interesting facts about it. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then you will definitely enjoy this. So let's see how these books smell, shall we? This book, surprisingly, this one doesn't smell at all, like almost. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to give it a 1 on a smelling scale of 5. But no offense, Alex, if you're watching this, great book. The second book is called The Road Beneath My Feet by Frank Turner, who, as you can probably tell from this, is a musician. He's also a British musician. That's why I liked living in London so much, because you just buy books from musicians and YouTubers and actors, and they're all signed. That's right, this one is signed also, as you can see here. For those of you who don't know, Frank Turner is a folk punk musician, and he just became really famous in the last few years, which is not surprising when you listen to his music, because it's just awesome. And what I like about this even more is that this is a fan edition. There are only 250 copies, and right here they've got the names of all the people who bought this edition, and somewhere here, right here, there's my name here, which just makes this even more awesome. So this is not an autobiography or a memoir, it's just a collection of his memories expressed in form of shows. So there are no chapters, but instead it says show 200, show 201, and so on. So basically he describes the last few years of his life on his way to becoming a successful musician by talking about some specific shows that he played, how he got to the venues, all these amazing rock and roll adventures that anyone would imagine. Frank Turner went through them, and he wrote this amazing, funny, passionate book about how it is to live on the road and how it is to become a successful musician when you basically start from 0. And on the smelling scale of 5, Frank Turner gets... this smells really good. 4. Definitely one of the best music books I've read in my life. Next one is called Life Moves Pretty Fast by Hadley Freeman. And as you can see, it's got this amazing cover. And you can probably tell by the cover that it's going to talk about something old school. And in this case, it just talks about the importance of 80s movies, like how they affected our culture and basically the 80s era. In this case, it has to do with American films. I remember walking in Waterstone's shop, which is a British network of bookshops, and right when I saw this, I just thought I had to buy this because I'm a huge 80s fan. I love the movies, the music, and all that kind of stuff. The author takes some of the most popular and some of the most acclaimed films of 80s, and she talks about the way they affected people, the film industry, and so on. And this was really entertaining and interesting, not only because it talks about films, but also because it talks about the culture in general. And she just talks about everyone from John Hughes to Eddie Murphy. And this is a really, really cool book, especially if you're an 80s fan, then this is a must-have. And on the smelling scale of 5, I would give this 2. I honestly have no idea why it's like that, but most of the books that I read, they smell alright, better than those for some reason. So this next book is actually on Russian, so I'm gonna show the cover here, the English cover, and it's called Johnson's Life of London. I know, London again, that's alright. And this book is written by the mayor of London, Boris Johnson, and he talks about the development of the capital of Great Britain by talking about some of the most important people who affected that process and who contributed to the economy of the city, to the politics, to music, to art in general, to whatever that is. Again, this is a very interesting book if you're interested in London and the UK, and especially in some of the most iconic figures that were born there and helped to develop one of the greatest cities in the world. So yeah, this was good. This smells alright, but it doesn't smell like the smell is not strong enough, so I would say it's a 2. So these were the 4 non-fiction books that I've read, and now the 5th and the final one, which is a fiction book, is Ready Player One. This book is written by Ernest Cline. I think this is his debut novel. And this is sort of a dystopian, the world is broken basically, but in order to escape all the destruction and stuff like that, people go into this virtual world called Oasis. And that virtual reality world is also a key to a great treasure that the creator of Oasis left there. And the only way to find this treasure is to know as much as you can about 80s culture. Again, 80s. This book is really great, really popular, a really great read for any sci-fi fan. In 2017 there's going to be a movie based on this book, and Steven Spielberg is going to direct it, which is amazing because it's been years since he's done anything that is related to like sci-fi and fantasy and all that kind of stuff. So really looking forward to it. And on the smelling scale of 5, this is probably 2. No, it smells alright, but you know, it smells like a 2. So here's the top 5 of the best books that I've read in 2015. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and share and subscribe and all that funny stuff. Do it if you enjoyed it. I'd be really grateful. And I also have an account on Goodreads, and if you have an account there, you can just add me. I'll put the link in the description. Feel free to talk about your top 5 in 2015. I'd be interested to know about that. And maybe if you want to, you can recommend me some books that you think I would like, probably related to 80s or London, one of those 2 things, apparently. And yeah, let's just talk about books under this video, because why the hell not? Books are great. So again, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.